I'm supposed to talk to you all about the business end of art, and it's a little different than most people think. Most people think that an artist does a painting, takes it to a gallery, and when it sells, the artist gets half or 60%, and the gallery gets half or 40%. And that's true, that's how that works, but there are so many other ways to make money off of art that most people don't know about. I have a gallery in Santa Fe that sells all my paintings, and I'm under contract to that gallery, which means I can't show at other galleries, but they sell every painting I do, so it doesn't matter to me if, when you're under contract, you're paid annually, and they divide it up into 12 equal payments. For that, I have to do a certain number of square inches. So it's a lot better than waiting for a painting to sell to get paid. It's, you know, you get paid like everybody else. And they're not taking a risk because they know the paintings are going to sell. And it's better for me because if there's a slow time of the year and nobody goes to Santa Fe, it doesn't matter, I still get paid. And not every artist likes a deal like that because they don't want to be tied down to one gallery, but that doesn't bother me. But as much as you make off of paintings, and my paintings are all based on square inch. The price is determined by how many square inches. It doesn't matter if there's 10 horses in it or just one, it's how big the painting is that determines the price. I'll show you in a minute what goes into this, but I'll talk about marketing first. If you see Leaning Tree cards anywhere, I've been Leaning Tree's #1 selling artist for about 12 years. And I do the painting, I have nothing to do with the cards. I just do the paintings, then I have a licensing agent that stays on the computer all the time, and all he does is shop my stuff around to these different companies. When they see a painting that they like, they license it, which means they have to pay me a certain percentage off of every one they sell. These cards, I don't know, I think they sell for $1 or something. I get a nickel for each card. $2. I get a nickel. That sounds like nothing, but I've sold over 14 million cards. So, see, that adds up. I do jigsaw puzzle. I've done 36, I think, jigsaw puzzles. I'm with 3 different jigsaw puzzle companies. If you look at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, they sell my jigsaw puzzle. I do a lot of Christmas paintings, so they do my stuff on a lot of Christmas things. And like these, I'm with 3 different throw companies, or weaving companies, and they do these big throws of my paintings. And like I said, the way the artist makes money, every one of these that sells, we get a percentage, and they send us a royalty check and make far more off of that than the originals. Even though my originals sell for quite a bit now, it can't compete with the numbers you can have off of licensing. Ornaments, coasters. I've done over 60 magazine covers, and magazine covers don't pay that well, but exposure, you're always out there. Western Horseman in particular, every time I do a cover, I get emails from all over the world of people that saw that cover. I've done 2 books with my painting. You can get these in Barnes & Noble or any place that sells books, and they're kids' books, but it's just a bunch of my paintings on the inside to illustrate what a cowboy is. I do a lot of prints. They made prints of more than 200 of my paintings, and just about any. If you go on the internet, you'll see a jillion prints of mine. So I tell you why I do all that. A lot of artists, there's bags. You can see that bag down there. A lot of artists really frown on marketing because they think that cheapens your art. And if you're doing fine art, they don't think it ought to be on a jigsaw puzzle or something. My perspective's different, and I'll tell you why. When I was a kid, my dad used to sell horses and buy horses at the Clovis horse auction. And I was there when I was about 10 years old with him, and we went to eat at the auction, and the table we sat at had a calendar over top of it. And it was a painting of a cowboy driving some cattle out of an old saloon. It was by an artist named Tom Ryan. I couldn't take my eyes off that thing. I kept, whole time we're eating, that's what I want to do. Right there's what I want to do. And it just affected me. I couldn't take that off my mind. I ended up having my mom order a Brown Bigelow calendar of that. And it's still one of my favorite paintings to this day. I got to meet Tom Ryan years later, and I told him how much he affected me by seeing that. And he said, a lot of people criticize me for putting my paintings on the calendar. But if he hadn't done that, I wouldn't have seen that, and it wouldn't have had that impact. I might not even be an artist now if it hadn't have been for that. So my philosophy on all this marketing is I want the average person to be able to see fine art. I know a lot of people can't afford my paintings. They can't even afford prints, but anybody can afford a Leaning Tree card, right? So if I'm able to share that and give high quality art to that, maybe it'll affect people the way Tom Ryan's calendar affected me. So that's my philosophy on it and why I do it. And like I said, a lot of artists look down their nose at it and frown, but I believe I'm doing a service, you know. You never know how you're affecting people. One of the blessings of this job is I get emails all the time that you were my dad's favorite artist, and you know, just moving stuff, and it's nice to be able to affect people for the good like that. I want to show y'all a little bit the way I work. First of all, do any of y'all have questions about the art business or how you're marketed or any of that? How do you get an agent?
Yeah, how do you get an agent? You want to get into business, right?
There are several agents that are out there that are pretty good. And I'll tell you how it worked in my case. I told you I was with the same gallery in Santa Fe for 20 some odd years now, 28 I think. And so your work's in art magazines because they're advertising and stuff. So the agents find the artist doesn't find the agent. And if they see somebody that they think they can market, they will contact you and work out a deal. In my case, I'm sitting in the gallery in Santa Fe one day, and I'm never there, but I was this day, and a guy walks in, he said, I'm Rich Wiseman. I had heard of him from other artists. And he said, I'm a licensing agent, and I'd really like to handle your stuff. And he said, I take 40%, and you have to sign a 5-year contract. I said, no deal. I don't sign contracts for 5 years with people I don't know, because if we don't get along, I don't want to be tied down to you, and you don't want to be tied to me. So we made an agreement. We just have a handshake. I've been with him now since '92, and he's the one that got me with Leaning Tree, got me all of these products. That's all he does all day, negotiate. I wanted a paint by number kit. I learned how to paint horses from paint by number kits. So years ago, he said, Jack, I'm negotiating paint by number kit of your paintings. I said, okay. So see, I'm not involved in the negotiations at all. I tell him how much I want for a particular thing, and then he negotiates it with the company. So I didn't hear anything. Finally, I called him. I said, where are we on with the paint by number kit? He said, oh, they didn't want to pay us. I said, but I wanted one. But what happens is, if you get a certain percentage from other companies, you can't take less from that one, or they'll know about it and wonder why they didn't have to pay. So it didn't work out, but I wish it had. Last month, or month before last, I did this painting. It was 3 foot by 4 feet of buffalo stamp. First, I got to tell you, 95% of all artists work strictly from photographs. I don't. I work from life, or I make it up. And I try to do paintings that couldn't be taken from photographs. Where are you going to get a photograph of a buffalo stampede and a horse getting hit and all that? And so I'm really concentrating on the last several years of just doing action paintings that couldn't be done from photographs. I think that would be my niche. So after 40 years of doing it, I just figured that out. So maybe I'm slow. I don't know. But all right, I had the idea for this, and I didn't have access to any buffalo. So in Goodnight, on the other side of Claude, they have 25 buffalo. So I go over there, I say, can I paint your buffalo? And the guy says, yeah. So I started taking my easel out of the car, and he said, you mean really paint them? I said, yeah. He said, I've had 10 or 12 artists paint these buffalo. They all just take photographs, then I see the painting later. I said, I'm old school. So the lady has a cast on her arm. She says, you want in the pen with the buffalo? I said, no. She said, totally safe. I said, how'd you break your arm? She said, well, one of those cows kicked me. And I said, which one? She said, the one we're eating for lunch. And we did have buffalo burgers for lunch. I don't know if she was kidding me or if that was true, but I didn't get in the pen with them. But I did do several sketches and paintings. And my son is an artist too, and he's gone with me since then. We've painted them a lot. But they're just standing there eating and milling around. And I wanted action, so I started studying them, watching how they move and everything. And so I come home and I start drawing buffalo. And I try to do them in every position running, because I hadn't decided compositionally yet what position I would need. So I started working and just doing nothing but drawing running buffalo. And I drew the horse just to rest from all the buffalo. But you see how many? Just nobody realizes how much work goes into something like that. But I just kept painting and kept painting buffalo. And this is the last page. When I was done, I had the man that owns them come critique these drawings and tell me any that were anatomically wrong or anything like that. He told me an interesting thing. He said buffalo have a real narrow throat, so they can't run unless they open their mouth and breathe. So in the finished painting, I had several of them with their mouths open. I'll show you a picture of it. Now, that was 5 days of practice drawing running buffalo, because like I said, where are you going to get a picture photograph like that? You can't. This is a finished painting. Wow. You can see their mouths are open and everything. This took, I think, 3 weeks from start to finish, going to paint his buffalo, doing those drawings, and then doing the canvas. And that sounds like a lot, but that painting sold for $24,000. So you see, you're well paid for all this work, all the time you spend on it. And I'll show you some other of my paintings. Like I said, I focus on action because I think it'll separate me from all the guys that use photographs. And my son and 3 other cowboys posed for me. And I have a saddle rack in my studio, and it'll tilt or turn any way you want to do it. And so I bring them in, they sit there. It doesn't take me long. I can sketch them usually in 10 minutes, something. And if they have guns, they have to actually hold the guns. I had a friend that worked in the movies for years, and he gave me a bunch of costumes that they used in Western, so I can dress a guy however I want it. I'll tell you one funny story. My middle son, that's the artist now, I wanted to do an Indians fighting. And I do a lot of Old West pictures, as you can see. So he had a real good physique because he played football and hockey and everything. I said, Josh, I need you to come in and pose for me. Well, he got on the saddle rack, and I said, I need you in your swim trunks. So he got on there, and I rolled his swim trunks up, and I couldn't get far enough away from him because I wanted him holding a spear. And so I said, we're gonna have to go out in the driveway. So I go out in the driveway. He's sitting on my saddle rack in his swim trunks, and I didn't have a spear, so I went and got the plunger from the bathroom. So my son's sitting out there half naked holding this plunger, looking like he's fighting another imaginary Indian. And cars are coming by and they're going real slow. And Josh says, Dad, hurry up. So anyway, all right, I have some Lean Tree cards for you guys. Pick your favorite 3, everybody, and you can take them with you. Thank y'all.